you like to?
It's gender equality, that they have the same, that women and men have the same chances, and so it's, for me, it's also very easy to answer, because once we have reached this, I think this gender equality, we have reached the goal of feminism.
Yeah, same thing. So I can agree with Andrea Klambauer. So same chances, same rights, to be able to, participate in every sphere of society. So it's gender equality, yes.
Yes, I'm a feminist. And yeah, of course, it's the same with me. It's the same rights, the same chances for men and women. And feminism does not mean fighting against men. I think that's important to point out. It means equality, gender democracy, the same opportunities, the same rights for everyone, for men and women.
I like the question because I think it totally gets onto something. I mean, why did Minister Raab not say she's a feminist? Mm-hmm. Because for her it's a leftist concept, so she would have been put into this. I mean, by definition, she's a feminist, but what she does, I mean, I guess that's her job, right? So,
it should be her job.
It should be her job. But why can't she say it? Because exactly this is where the criticism. So, like you say, maybe if she would frame it as an egalitarian concept, it would be easier for her to stomach or something. But I think the framing of language is absolutely key to these issues. Great question.
I think what Mr. Weiss said about so many people not being able to vote because they don't have the right citizenship, it's really a topic we need to focus, and I'm looking to someone here in the audience who talked about this issue, that I think we must be able, that we open citizenship, double citizenship in Austria, to really include them for the election. And I can tell you, I just got a nephew last week, and he has 3 citizenships, one from the mother, one from father, and one from the country they're living in. So it's possible, and I think we should... we have to talk about this, really.
So I can totally agree on that, because I think that 1/3 of the people living in Austria, working in Austria, paying taxes in Austria, are not able to vote, to take part in political decision making is a huge problem and a huge threat for democracy. So, and I don't have an explanation why they're not organizing, but something. So one reason is maybe something you said, Alexandra, that some of them are working in jobs, being underpaid, struggling with life. So not all of them, but so maybe they don't have the resources to stand up at the moment. Not all of them, but maybe that is one of the reasons. So this, which means also we are really dependent as a society on the work of these people, and we're not giving them the right to vote and to participate. And this is a real threat for democracy and a really huge problem, I think.
Do you want to speak to it, or you're good? Good.
Well, just one word. I think, like you, I think it's super worrying and super problematic. And I guess it needs some kind of political leadership, someone who really takes it up as an issue. I think because the ones who are excluded, for them it's like, it sucks, but they can't change it and they don't have the time, so they won't be the ones who probably, but someone has to take it up and to make it an issue, you know. And look in the United States, I mean, every political election pretty much turns on voter turnout. Can you get the right people to vote on voting day? Makes all the difference in the world. So if you could get those people to vote, we would have a pretty different Austria. Maybe some people don't like that, but that's a different story.
But they can't vote, so that's a problem.
Right, but someone could take it up and could say, well, how about it?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that paying taxes is okay, working hard is okay, but deciding who sits on top is not okay? How does it? I mean, it shouldn't be that complicated an argument. And the citizenship, when I was ambassador, we introduced the citizenship for the descendants of Holocaust survivors. Huge success. Of course, no Austrian political party could argue against it, even the Freedom Party couldn't. So, huge success because what we gained so much. Citizens who loved Austria for this possibility to become a citizen, who were completely in awe, they were so happy to receive the passport. So it's a complete gain for my country. And why can't we expand that? Does it have to be limited only to the descendants of Holocaust survivors? No, it could be completely possible. But it's I think, hard political work, and I leave that to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Maybe this is what you said. Sorry. Yeah. I talked to this. Maybe majorities would change in Austria if we allowed other communities to vote, and maybe this is why we don't get a majority to change the law at the moment.
I agree with you, but one tiny contradiction, because it is something I've learned in my work with dealing with the women's movement in the past. I only want to quote Adelheid Popp, one of the most famous proletarian protagonist of the women's movement, and as well Irma von Troll-Borostiani, our radical Salzburg feminist. They said, women will only achieve rights and emancipation when they fight for it for themselves. So I hope that someone takes up this issue. But history, if we compare it with the women's history, then it's the situation was a bit different.
So if you don't fight for yourself, nobody else will.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Thank you for asking that question. I think it's a really relevant question, and in terms of citizenship regimes in Europe, Austria ranks #1 as being the most restrictive. So this will be an ongoing conversation in terms of dual citizenship, the potential thereof. And I think it's important to bring up, particularly when we speak about the sort of question of intersectionality. Class comes into play there as well. I will stop talking, the migration scholar will stop talking, the moderator will take over with the question from Kyoko, who had a question. I think Kyoko's comments sort of speak to the success of this panel and what I was speaking to at the beginning about hoping that this will continue in discussions one-on-one and in small groups and make that dreaded word networking easier for all of us in the minutes to come. So thank you for your feedback and for your reflections. Before I end, I'd like to hand over the stage to Rector Lennart for a few closing words, and thank you all for bearing with us, for sitting, for engaging, and for being part of this kickoff event. Please.